How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to showcase a Pyrus Haos hero-based deck profile. Now I've been playing around with this a lot, and honestly I don't think I'm done playing with the hero deck as a concept. I don't even think I'm close to done with playing around with it, but for now I've built something that I think is pretty fun to use. Could still be refined, so if you have any recommendations, anything you'd like to see, like variations of different factions or anything, just go ahead and leave it in the comments after you watch. But for now, let's just go ahead and get into my Pyrus Haos build, which includes Haos Mantinoid Ultra, which I believe is probably the best Haos Bakugan for a hero build, mostly because of his Evo, but we'll get to that. And Pyrus Nobilius Ultra. This guy, I chose him because he is just probably the best Pyrus Bakugan when it comes to like turn 1 B power capabilities right now in the game. And I also picked Haos Nilius. Haos Nilius is just really freaking good at what he does, which is reaching huge amounts of B power with his Evo as well. And I think that these three all combo really well together. They all carry a magic shield, which I've just chosen the 650 magic shield for all three of them. And then they also carry 2 red fists, one from the Nobilius, one from the Nilius, and then just a shy one of Green Fist, which could actually come into play if you happen to see Holy Flame in your hand. And speaking of Holy Flame, let's just get right into the cards now. I'm going to swipe these on off to the side, leave them in the background so you can still see them as we go. So for action cards, I start with 3 Quickfire. This guy is mostly in here because rerolls are fantastic, and it's probably one of the best Pyrus cards, certainly one of the best 0 costs as well, and it's really good at proccing hero effects over and over in one turn. I'll set it there. Next, 3 Super Fuel, 2 proxies again, sorry, Resurgence has not been reprinted in my area at all, or in any area for that matter that I can think of, but this guy's really good at getting out Evos or heroes in turns earlier than you would normally expect them, and it's also really good for rerolls if you happen to need them. So play 6 rerolls in the deck, which is pretty good. There's no Haos reroll card that's really worth playing right now, so that's just what we're sticking with. 2 Song of Fires next. I had this at 3 for a while, but I found that it bricked at 3 unless I was in some sort of situation where I had like a lot of mid to high cost heroes in my hand. But even then, it's just like a dead card unless you happen to have like 2 or 3 other cards in your hand that can combo off well with it. So right now it's just in here at 2 because I like to see it with Super Fuel and get that turn 1 or turn 2 huge energy boost, but that's just in there to combo off with the Super Fuel and get hero cards in early. And that's it for the Pyrus action cards. Now into the Haos action cards. 3 Holy Flame. This is just buffed Super Shot, and also you carry the 1 fist with Mantinoid Ultra. So if you happen to see a whole bunch of these in your hand and your hide matrix is not really set up super well, and the fist is for whatever reason your best bet at trying to land on, and you have like a whole bunch of Holy Flames in your hand, you can actually get that plus 600 effect from the Holy Flame instead of just the base 300. But the 300 is good enough on its own that it makes it worth playing. Next, 3 Lights Courage. Really good, better than Energy Draw, I'd say, just because it's got a really nice, solid, on par core for the 2 cost plus 400, and it's also got a really high ceiling. as well for when you're in domination, which you're probably going to be in domination if you get Nilius's Evo effect off at all. Next, one Blinding Light. This is a hero deck after all. Haven't gotten into any of the heroes yet, but I had this at 2 for a while, and I found out that it just did not net me enough advantage unless I was in a later game where I had like 5 or 6 heroes. Then this card is insane, but it's just good at 1. I think that there are a lot of other cards, these ones specifically, that are more reliable at getting you consistent B power bonuses. But I do like to see the Blinding Light late game, so I play it at 1 just in case. Next, for Evo removal, I play the 1 Wax and 1 Wane. If I was playing Aurelus, I would play Sonic Chains, but I am not playing an Aurelus Bakugan, so the 1 Wax and the 1 Wane has seemed to work pretty well for me in the past. This is the ratio I've played these at in previous deck profiles on this channel, so if you want to see sort of a different Pyrus Haos build that's not hero based, that also includes something similar to this lineup, I do have it in my videos list. But moving on, I'll scrape the action cards all out of the way here. Flip cards. So I play 1 Confuse, 2 Hauled Outsiders. That's not in frame. Whoops. Alright. 2 Hauled Outsiders, 2 Block Outsiders. I had Confuse at 2 and then just 1 Block Outsiders for a while. I had just 3 flip cards in this deck for a long time because space is just so tight these days. But I found that 3 is just too few, or at least in my opinion, it's just too few flip cards, because they're like, you'll have some games where you draw 2 of them immediately and you'll take an attack before turn 3, and you'll burn the other one before you can use it, and then boom, you're out of flips for the whole game. So I like to play at least more than 3. 5 is okay for right now. In decks with a little more space, I like to play usually 7 or 8, but in a deck that's based around heroes, based around proccing effects and getting free cards, you don't want too terribly many of them to be flips, so I think 5 is good for like a lower end amount of flips for this deck, if that made any sense at all. Now onto the stars of the show. 3 Shargo Ronin. This hero is amazing. It's one of the best heroes in the game. Procs on itself, not on itself, but it can proc multiple times in a turn. It can stack on itself. And another of the greatest heroes in the game, 3 Dankuzo. Oh man, the super fuels and the quick fires just make both of these cards so overpowered. So overpowered. You can just activate all their effects multiple times in a turn and just get free value constantly. Next, 2 Leah from Age of Aurelus. This card is very okay, I will say, for heroes. The reason I say that, and the reason I'm not playing it at 3, I'm only playing it at 2, is that let's say you open your Bakugan, you flip over all your cards, your three cards off the top of your deck, and none of them are heroes, but then you win the battle anyway. Next turn, you're going to draw 1 card, so one of those top 3 cards is going to be gone, and then you're going to roll out your Bakugan, proc Leah's effect. 2 of those same 3 cards are still not going to be heroes. So you have like a 1 in 3 chance of maybe getting a hero off of it. So the reason that I only play this at 2 is because it's sort of almost a win more card, to be honest. Because if you don't flip over hardly any heroes off of this effect, you're not going to get any value out of it. Now some exceptions for this would be if I was running Darkest deck. In Darkest, there is the option to play Dark Fortune and also the Age of Aurelus Magnus. Both of those cards let you shuffle your deck. I think that those would combo really well with Leah's effect, because then you're flipping over 3 brand new cards every time you proc her effect, assuming on the turn before you're using a Dark Fortune or a Magnus. So that just like lets you cycle through your deck, lets you see more cards. But for now, I think 2 is good in a Pyrus Haos build of this. Furthermore, 2 strata is also good for this particular build I'm using, mostly because the 1 strata is good. It can pretty much lower the cost of any hero in this deck to 0 or at the most 2 if you only have 1 strata, right? If you have both of these stratas out, then every hero in this deck is going to be 0 cost. So I don't feel the need to play more than 2 stratas. Next I play the 1-off Age of Orlis D. She's really good because if you happen to get her effect off, you have Frost Strike for the whole rest of the game. So she's kind of like a tech card that I've found quite a lot of success with. Also, Dan Kuzo, the Resurgence one, for double strike. Same reasons as D. If you get double strike for the whole rest of the game, that is really valuable. So, all in all, I played 12 heroes. 12 heroes has worked out pretty well for me up to this point in testing. I've run as many as 20 and as few as like 8, and in both extremes I just don't see enough either actions to play like in early game, or I don't see enough heroes to make like the hero part of the build worth it. So I think 12 is a pretty good number of heroes to run. And lastly, we're going to go into Evos. 2 Titan Ilias. Really easy to get out. Really easy to activate Domination for the Light's Courage. It's just really good. It's just a really, really good card. And then 2 Titan Nobilius Ultra. By the time you get this out, I shouldn't say it like that. By the time you have 5 energy, you're probably already going to get this out, either through Super Fuel or Song of Fire or Dan or some combination of the 3. He's really easy to get out, and you're rarely ever going to actually pay the 5 cost to get him. And lastly, same kind of story here, 2 Maximus Mantinoid Ultras. This is the heart and soul of the hero deck. It's plus 600 base B power for absolutely nothing, assuming that you've got at least 3 hero cards in play, which more often than not you're going to. In other words, I never ever play this for 6 cost, ever. And yeah, that's the deck. As I said in the beginning of the video, if you'd like me to try and work with this deck and profile some different attributes like Aquas and Darkus I'm really interested in. I feel like those could sub out for Pyrus in this sort of deck. I'm more than happy to look at those. And outside of that, watch out for more videos coming in the future. I've got some of those new 3-packs coming on the way, and I've also got a couple requests that I have yet to get to for profiles. So got a lot on my plate. And I'm really excited to get to that content. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time with more videos.